Okay, so you watch the show. Now it's time to level up. Hit that join button and get the VIP treatment. Early access, behind the scenes, and even shout-outs on the spot. Get in the mix with the real ones, breeders, fans, and all the dog lovers. Join the fam, be a part of something bigger. Starting at just $1, you get access to the best content we got. And that's not all. Members get 10% off all merch and gear. Plus, you're on the priority list for getting your next pup. You're in the loop. To join, just click the join button below this video. Pick your tier and boom, you're part of the squad.
We built different.
There we go. Testing 1, 2. Testing 1, 2. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Marcel Shepard was good. Big dog. Top of the morning. Top of the afternoon. Top of the afternoon, man. What do, bro? Go ahead. Get you right, Marcel. There we go. Yeah, Marcel, I came here to piss a couple people off. I don't give an F though. You know what I'm saying? So, once again, so y'all can see, I got Tsunami. She's sitting in my lap, and the more time I spend on live, the more time I can spend with my dog. Every time I'm live, she's gonna be in my lap because I'm going to ensure that she's comfortable around human beings, and that and not only she comfortable around human beings, but that like voices, me moving around the room, things of that nature, don't bother her. Yes, sir, I'm live. Yes, sir, Marcel. Yes, sir. Hey, don't salute me too fast, Marcel. I'm not, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, I'm here to piss some people off because I seen some stuff and I just like I get my opinion on it. I happen to be a social media influencer. I'm a YouTube bulldogger, so I'm YouTube bulldogger. YouTube bulldogger. That's what it is, man. So the one thing you don't want to do is you don't want to say crazy things on the internet because you can't take them back. You know what I'm saying? You can't take them back, man. Big A, what's good, big dog? We change this. I don't like this one. We change this one up. Let's see. I like that one. Yeah, we can rock out that one. That was very melodic. Take it down about 13. There we go. Yeah, man. But as a social media influencer, as a person who enjoys, I like being on the internet. You know what I mean? So, this is cool. This is therapeutic for me. And not to mess up the Shogun Unlimited brand, but Samurai Kennels is my brand. You know what I'm saying? Shogun Unlimited was created for the people, by the people, to give people a voice. But over here, you're going to get my opinion, my thoughts, my words, and my actions. And that's what it is. If they don't like it, so they can kick rock barefoot. So salute to all of y'all that come through, watch this on the live or the replay. But yeah, man, you know what it is, man. We're just kicking it, we're just having a good time, man. We're just kicking it, having a good time. And so the topic, y'all, is what is a working dog? I'm gonna repeat that topic again. The topic is what is a working dog? All right. So y'all know first we're gonna go to Google. Because I want to set the tone real fast. Let's ask Google. And I'm not saying Google is always right, but Google is typically a baseline for people to get started on research, you know what I'm saying? And from there they branch off. So I'm gonna pull this up, y'all, and we're gonna cook on this, man. We're gonna cook on this till I feel like I got my point across. You know what I'm saying? Cook on this, I feel like I got my point. It's got my rocks. All right, finish good, big dog. And this is a topic I've covered a million times before, but you know what I'm saying? I'm covering it again. Why not? Saturday. Shout out to Iron Sharp K9. Y'all go over to check them out. They're doing live fight work. Salute. I want to say that Samurai Kennels and the Shogun Army have really pushed the gambit. I see a lot more people going live to do things, and I don't need credit for none of it. That's not what I'm looking for. What I'm saying is, I've seen, since I started going live and showing the work, I've seen a lot more people that are actually really working dogs and using working dogs go live and show the work. So to me now, there's a clear line in the sand that either your dogs do it or they don't do it. And I don't respect a pre-recorded video the way I respect a live video. And if you're doing something that you don't know how to make it legal or like to make it YouTube friendly, I'm not telling you to do that. So don't get it twisted. My hog hunters, be careful what you put on YouTube. But if it's not a blood sport or a sport where animals can get lacerations and serious injury, do your thing, man. Do your thing, boy. I ain't even mad. But okay, so the overview. This is what Google says, y'all. A working dog is a canine trained to perform a specific useful task or job for humans. Examples: assisting people with disabilities, guarding property, herding livestock, or participating in search and rescue missions. Unlike a companion dog, a working dog has a defined purpose and requires specialized training to harness its natural abilities for a particular function, contributing to society in a variety of roles. All right. My dogs definitely assist with disabilities, specifically my PTSD. They're definitely great family protection dogs, and they're good for guarding the property. I ain't did no livestock herd. I ain't got to say any cap on that. And then we also working on scent work. As I learned to do greater deals of scent work, my dogs will learn to do greater deals of scent work. So my dogs are, for me, they are consumer level working dogs. Consumer level working dogs. Based on the definition I read off Google. You know what I'm saying? Now, if you got a different definition, man, I'm gonna tell you what I'm gonna do. Obviously, you can leave a comment or you can drop a comment in the chat. There ain't nothing wrong with that, bro. Ain't nothing wrong with it, man. But I prefer to have a one-on-one conversation. You know what I'm saying? Because stuff like this right here, man. Y'all know I don't really do the argument thing, but I will discuss it with you. I will play your opposition on there and give you different types of ideas. Oh, here's some more jobs they got. So on Google, I scroll down and it says, example of working dog tasks. Working dogs are a diverse group. Their tasks vary widely, including assistance dogs, service dogs that help individuals with disabilities, while emotional support dogs provide comfort. Law enforcement and military dogs. These dogs are trained for tasks like detecting narcotics and explosives, apprehending suspects, and performing search and rescue operations. Guard dogs. Some working dogs are trained to protect people, livestock, and property. Herding dogs. Breeds originally developed for moving and managing livestock still have strong herding instincts today. Sled dogs. Like the Alaskan Malamute and the Siberian Husky are known for their strength and ability to pull sleds. It doesn't say where or how they pull the sleds. American Pit Bull Terriers do a great job of pulling as well. Characteristics of working dogs. They must have specialized training. Working dogs require extensive specialized training to learn and perform specific duties. Natural instincts. They have inherent physical capabilities and intelligence that are honed through training to perform tasks effectively. I'm gonna stop right there. Put a pin in that right there. What's good, Walnut, PA, man? What's good, man? So we talk about working dogs and what is a working dog? That's the topic today. I've asked this question a million times, and every time somebody doesn't know what's going on with the program, come on my channel or my YouTube, my Instagram, my Facebook. I'm gonna go straight to education. Straight to education. I'm not about to insult you. I'm not about to call you outside your name. Who are you? Nobody knows who you are. But what we do know is there's a discussion to be had. The link is in the description. You know what I'm saying? The link is on there. You know what I mean? I'm bouncing back and forth between Google and StreamYard. So if you jump in, just know that I have to get to you in turn. Okay. But let's go back to the specialized training. Working dogs require extensive specialized training to learn and perform their specific duties. All right. Now, for those of you who don't know, I'm a certified dog trainer. I'm a master instructor for the military air education and training command. My dogs are trained at a high level, right? I'm not the best, but they're trained at a high level. So my dogs are definitely working dogs. And so let me give y'all the precursor to why this discussion is being had. If you would like to see the comment, you can go on my Instagram. I posted a picture of Gas Goes Demon, our first champion. and from the Digital Dog Show, and he was also the Dog of the Year of 2023, right? So I posted the dog on there, and the guy was not disrespectful. Let me be 100% clear. He was not disrespectful, but his opinion does not align with what I do at Samurai Kennels or what I do over on Shogun Unlimited. He says, in my opinion, he started this conversation with, in my opinion. All right. RBG was good. Yes, sir. RBG was good, big dog. So the guy started with, in my opinion. And mind you, in my opinion, does set a precursor to this, your train of thought. But we all know that just like there are certain discs that you precurse, like not to sound racist or not to be mean, not attacking you specifically. These are all things that people say when they about to say some fucked up shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, or something that don't align with your ideology, or something they know that could be offensive. They precursor with that. And what people use it is, they use it as a get out of jail free card to say what they think to you, when their opinion, nobody cared about the opinion in the first place, right? Or the opinion wasn't solicited. As y'all know, man, we do a Feedback Friday where we take opinions intentionally, and I come in with the mindset of listening without wanting to be argumentative. But in my day-to-day life, man, you know what I'm saying? Like, no, nigga, I ain't trying to hear what you got to say. Like, do your thing, I do my thing. And you know what I'm saying? And we can obviously the cohabitate, we don't have to know each other exist. That's cool. So the brother was saying, in his opinion, the term Dog of the Year should be reserved for the Sporting Dog Journal and Working Dogs. And so the root of it has nothing to do with the Sporting Dog Journal. Shout out to the Sporting Dog Journal. And it has nothing to do with this brother in general. What it has to do is this brother's opinion on Working Dog. So a lot of, I ain't gonna say a lot, niggas I know, I ain't gonna say a lot because I don't know, but the circle of people I know on social media and on the internet, they say things like, yeah, working dogs only or working camps only. And I would need a definition from that person of what they consider a working dog, right? So to even have a discussion with anybody about what a working dog is, I have to give you my baseline or what my mediocre understanding of a working dog is, right? But at least there's a baseline to go off of, so we're not moving the goalposts when we have these intelligent discussions about what a working dog is, all right? And mind you, one, I don't believe any specific breed is working. I believe that any specific dog in that breed that has been specifically trained to do a task to work is working dog. And I consider sport work. If that dog gets on that mill and knows he wants you to run that mill and does it for you because you requested, not just because he accidentally jumped on the mill, you know what I'm saying? He's doing it at your behest. That is a working dog to me, okay? So I'm not going to take away, I don't care if you specifically train the dog to hunt. If he knows how to go grab a raccoon, kill it, and hold it, or grab a pig, kill it, and hold it just off natural instincts, that's a working dog. I'm not saying you got to go get a specialized trainer. I'm saying that you have to encourage the behaviors. That's part of training, right? So let's be 100% clear. Like, the working dog spectrum is vast. And as long as the dog is accomplishing the task that you as a breeder, owner, handler, whatever you are, fancier, connoisseur, set forth, as long as the dog is handling those tasks, it is a working dog in Samurai Kennel's eyes. In Dre's eyes, if that dog has any task it does for you other than be a pet, it's a working dog, to include emotional support animals. Sport dogs. I don't care if your dog is trained to go get the newspaper out the front yard. Maybe one day you twist your ankle and that dog being able to get that newspaper can help you. That's a working dog. I'm not saying it's a high level working dog, but that dog has a task in life that it does to alleviate a stress that you as a human don't have to deal with because that dog can do it for you. That's a working dog to me, to Dre. Right? So I just want to clarify that, you know. So yeah, you know, for somebody to tell me that the dogs on my digital dog show are not working dogs, unless you know that each individual that owns the dogs, that's the insult not to me. That's the insult to my people that compete in my digital dog show. And that right there, I don't like. You know what I'm saying? I don't, in my opinion, I don't like it. You don't know these people. You know nothing about them. All you know is you saw a 2-minute video or a little 30-second clip of a picture of their dog, You don't know what they do with their dogs when they're not taking pictures of them on the internet. You don't know. You don't know. So to say that dog years should be reserved for working dogs, no, what you meant, and I'm gonna like this right here is where I draw the line. I told y'all, I'm not part of the American Pit Bull Terrier community. I love the American Pit Bull Terrier community. I got my own community. I do things my own way. For you to say that you only believe working dogs should wear dog of the year, this is what I heard. This is what I heard. Only fighting dogs should be considered for dog of the year. That's what I heard. And I tell you again and again, if that was your intention and you underground, you should have stayed your ass underground. You should have stayed underground because I wasn't bothering you. I wasn't looking for you. I still don't know who you are. And if you underground, you can't even, if you proving your dogs is working to the public, you're a fucking idiot. Yeah, y'all, this ain't Shogun Unlimited. This is Samurai Kennels. I'm not here to be politically correct. I'm here to get it right. I'm here to get it right. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, so then my question would be, one, who are you? Why would you think your opinion about who deserves dog of the year would matter when at least, I don't know, 750,000 views have happened and they like something about the Digital Dog Show? It doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense to me at all. Yeah, Marcel, hey, look. When Toyo go to the Big Hill fam, when I come to Samurai K9, we're affiliates of Shogun Unlimited. When we on Shogun Unlimited, we retain. The Samurai Kennels, I'm representing my kennel. I'm representing my dogs and my interest over here. You know what I'm saying? So if niggas come over here thinking, well, it's gonna be the same shit, it's not gonna be the same thing. It's not. I didn't create a second channel to do the same things I do on Shogun Unlimited. Yes, I still pray. Yes, I still work out. Yes, I do these things. But over here, nah, bro. This is my business page. You know what I'm saying? I want you to know exactly who you're dealing with. You come over here to get a dog, this is who you're talking to. You're talking to Andre Rashad Williams, a military member, a God-fearing person, but also a real nigga. And just like the American Pit Bull Terrier can be all these things, you don't have to lock me into one mode. My dogs don't have to be locked into one mode. You know what I'm saying? We're eclectic. We're multifaceted. Big A, you a fool with it. But yeah, man, we multifaceted, yo. We multifaceted, you know. So I'm gonna get a poll going real quick while we in here, man. I just want to see what y'all thinking. You know what I'm saying? Start a poll, man. Do you think a working dog is what I mentioned? Yeah, man. Shout out to my brother H&F on Facebook, man. Shout out to H&F, man. Salute. Yeah, man. We're gonna get this going. Get this poll going, man. You know what I'm saying? I wanna, like I said, I'm about getting it right. It's just I ain't about to kowtow over here. You know what I'm saying? Like, not Shogun Unlimited. Hey, man, Marcel, I appreciate that, bro. Swear to nuns, man. Swear to nuns. Marcel, you supposed to be wrenched up. Hold on. Okay, Marcel. I got it right, man. I got it right. I got it right. I got it right, Marcel. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now, you're right, Marcel. I appreciate that. Thank you, bro. You know what I'm saying? Thank you. But yeah, man, I'm here to talk my talk. You know, I'm here to talk my talk, man. Let me get back to this reading real quick, man, because you know, this, like, for somebody who never seen the channel before, like the reading part can be kind of boring. I'm sure some dogs. But so pick up from intelligence and loyalty. These dogs are known for their high intelligence, loyalty, and dedication, which makes them invaluable in their roles. Physical and mental stimulation. To thrive, working dogs need regular mental and physical stimulation to stay happy and engaged. Breed characteristics. Many breeds are considered working dogs due to their size, strength, and temperament, though not all dogs within the breed will work. Nasty. We're taking a deeper dive. A working dog is an intelligent, powerful, and driven canine bred to perform specific tasks to assist humans. While many dogs serve as family pets, a working dog has a specialized role requiring particular physical and mental capabilities, which are refined through training. So the working dog is naturally born working, and then we refine those traits through training. I agree with that. They need to possess high intelligence, courage, physical stamina, strong will and confidence, and loyalty. I think the American Pit Bull Terrier as a whole has a real grasp on what it means to be a working dog. Real grasp on that. Appreciate that. Appreciate those y'all taking the poll. Appreciate that. Whoa, pause. But I appreciate y'all participating in the poll because it matters, man. So back to what I was saying, man. Working dog. Everything that I said describes the American Pit Bull Terrier. Fiercely loyal, intelligent, strength, endurance, workability, drive. It just sounds like I'm describing a pit bull. It just sounds like I'm describing any pit bull, not just the ones that do what you like, you know. So yeah, man. I'm back. That's right, Alex. Alex, salute. Loyalty and dedication, man. Loyalty and dedication. Loyalty and dedication. RBG. Let me get a thumbs up from somebody if y'all can hear me. I had to reload. I'm reloaded. Thanks, Big A. It went out. Thank you, Big A. Appreciate that, man. Show. Yes, sir. Okay, you see the poll. We got 4 votes, man. We got 8 people watching, 4 votes. That's cool, though. You know, some of y'all watching on Facebook. I already know. I already know, man. Salute to y'all anyways, man. But yeah, man. Let's see some dogs, man. Let's show y'all some dogs. I'm trying to see my mode. So I'm gonna go into let's do Saki's pig, y'all. Everybody wants to talk about pigs, man. We do Saki's pig. Got that in the background for y'all. We're doing something. The dogs behind the dogs. But we only worry about 3 generations back at this point. I'm only worried about 3 generations back. Starting with Bacardi and moving on. On the knucklehead side, starting with Blanca and moving on. working dogs. Now I'm gonna give y'all my why. I'm gonna give you my why. And so my why. With Samurai Ken Osaki, we did video Osaki up for y'all. Samurai Ken Osaki. My goal with Saki was to create a dog that could do protection work, right? And in that process, I found a dog that possessed destructive power that I had never seen before, and I don't think I'll ever see it again. He got into a kennel accident with his cousin Hendrix, and at the time, you know, I just wanted to break it up, but he dealt a lot of damage in the short period of time that him and Hendrix were not seeing eye to eye. Samurai Ken Osaki had a broken leg, and I mentioned this last night live last night too. So this is kind of a tie-in story. But he had a broken leg at 12 weeks old. I was told to cull him, man. You know what I'm saying? Can't recover from that. And now, I would say he is one of the most famous American Pit Bull Terriers today on the internet. You know, at least from the people that have seen my channel, they might not know his name. They might not know he's my dog, but they've seen this buckskin black man's dog. You know, he's won at several different shows, both ADBA and non-registries. He's been in Louisiana, Texas, North Carolina, South Carolina, and Arizona. Phenomenal dog. Has produced pups that have beat him in shows. He's killed raccoons, possums. Would have killed his cousin if I didn't break up the yard accident. He does obedience very well at a high level. Does a little bit of scent work, you know, and he is registered as my PTSD service animal. His job is he's trained to basically to grab my hand and hold my hand with his mouth when I'm exhibiting bouts of anxiety. So very high level working dog, in my opinion. You know, my follow up question would be, how many people that say those things like the brother, like the good misguided brother on Instagram that said, have a dog that can do half those things. You know, so when somebody says something like that, man, I just want you to know, man, you can talk that talk at the barbershop, at your local barbershop. When you step out on this internet, you don't know who and what skills another person has. You know, you don't know what skills another person has, what their dogs can do, other than what they're showing you. But the ones of us that show it, we ain't got time to listen to those y'all who ain't even showing it. I don't know you. Who are you? Who are you to question me? And I'm not saying you got to compete in my digital dog show. I'm not saying you got nothing with me. Who knows you? What references do you have? What credibility do you have other than being a keyboard warrior? You see these people right here? These people in my chat, the 9 of them that are here, they all have shown to some degree that they understand the capabilities of their own personal dogs, and they have a direction they're moving for their whatever it is they do. So I just felt like I get over here and get it off my chest, man. Also, while I'm here, last night's live, we finished with a couple chapters in the Mr. Richard F. Stratton book. This is the American Pit Bull Terrier. So I'm going to pick up from last night, chapter 3, and we're going to press. Chapter 3, Old Wine in New Wine Skins. Old wine in new wine skins. Anything but history, for history must be false. Sir Robert Walpole. Any long-established breed history is suspect because we simply have no way of knowing actual facts of a breed's formation. In the case of our breed, I believe that the history of the English Bull Terrier was borrowed by early writers on the breed. It was much easier to do that than to be caught without a history. In researching our breed's history, it is useful to keep these principles in mind. 1. Names tend to change. 2. Show dogs tend to change in appearance. 3. Dogs bred for performance are more likely to stay the same, although they have less lateral uniformity. 4. A brachiophilic dog, as a pit dog man say, has no mouth. So he is useless for fighting or bull baiting. 5. Artwork is our best window to the past, because we are not always certain what writers of another age were talking about when they used breed names. A series of articles by various authors tending to open up the question of the breed's history was published by Bloodlines Journal. They are reprinted here. What's in a name? It is common knowledge that even the devotees of the Staffordshire Terrier, the show counterpart of the American Pit Bull Terrier, were very unhappy with the name granted by their American Pit Bull Terrier Kennel Club. American Kennel Club. They wanted the name American Pit Bull Terrier, that the breed had been known for over 100 years. But the English Bull Terrier had already firmly entrenched within the AKC. The English Bull Terrier owners lobbied successfully to prevent any other breed from using the name. So the reason why the AKC doesn't use Pit Bull right here has nothing to do with what they said about the AKC not wanting to be involved with the American Pit Bull Terrier. What I'm seeing is that the Bull Terrier guys are actually responsible for this. Food for thought. While the name American Pit Bull Terrier has been accepted by many majority dog fanciers for the last 100 years, it may come as a surprise to many to learn that it's not universally accepted. When first adopted by the United Kennel Club, many authorities felt that the breed should have a name of its own, that the term Bull Terrier should not be used at all. The problem was that what name to use? The breed was and still is generally called a bulldog, but in casual conversations by most fanciers. The name American Pit Bull Terrier was and is an effect of formal name for the breed that we use primarily in print. Other nicknames occasionally used were Pit Bull, Pit Bulldog, and even Pit Terrier. This confusion of names is a direct result of uncertain history of the breed. It is difficult to trace the history of nearly all the breeds of dogs because the paucity and references to specific breeds in early writings, and because of the contradictions and ambiguities in the works on dogs produced by early writers. The history of the American Pit Bull Terrier is especially dark and uncertain because events in ancient times, its activities, and even the existence have been kept relatively secret. However, there are references to fighting dogs even in the writings that existed before the Christian era. When carvings, engravings, or other representations of these animals are examined, it can readily be seen that they easily fall within the parameters of the modern American style. Also, paintings and woodcuts done of the original bulldog show that it looked just like the modern American Pit Bull Terrier. If the bulldog originally looked like our breed and was already agile like our breed, the old story about the breed's origin being a result of the cross of a bulldog and terrier becomes an unneeded hypothesis and scientifically must be rejected on principle. A student of any breed's history will find that he is in for some momentous times at the library poring over old writings that have occasionally referenced dogs. He learns that the old artwork in most of those reliable sources is his research. He subsequently becomes a source of worry to his friends at art galleries or libraries when he looks right past the nude paintings and concentrates on any dogs that might appear in the background. The thrill of discovery of pertinent data is made all the more sweet by the rarity of those occasions. It is the type of thing that can downright be addictive. And I find myself still engrossed in trying to ferret out the facts of the breed's history. The following is the story of the American Pit Bull Terrier that seems to fit all the facts. Stand by. Brother Alex says, I've seen some pictures of an old bulldog, and it looks more like the American Bulldog. I agree. The snout looks a little bit more upturned, not boxer upturned and not boxer stubby, but yeah, Alex believes that's correct. And salute you for sharing that. Testing 1 2, testing 1 2. When mankind first used dogs for hunting, dogs and men were truly equal partners in the hunt. And I still to this day believe that. And I talked about this last night. You can go back to last night's episode, last night's live. A group of men and dogs would work together in tracking, running the game down, and then even participated in the kill together. For these dogs, they came coursing hounds, scent hounds, and fighting dogs. Each of these groups is their degree of specialization and changed the term considerably over countless years of their existence. The coursing hounds, best represented by the greyhound, were bred for speed at the expense of their fighting and tracking ability. They were used mainly to run less formidable prey down, usually in a sight chase, and to keep the prey slowed down until a human hunter could catch up. Representations of these type of dogs existed clear back in ancient Egyptian times. Scent hounds, example given, the red bone, the walker, the plot, etc., were developed to track and locate game for human hunters. It was not intended to help kill the game, but they have developed a marvelous tracking ability and their beautiful baying bark that communicated to their owners not only that they were tracking, but by changes in the intensity of the pitch, how close they were to the game. The fighting dogs, at first, were probably kept on leash and carried to the spot and used once the prey had been located by the scent hounds. They are still occasionally used in this way. They had neither the swiftness nor the course of the coursing hounds, nor the tracking ability of the scent hounds, but they were just as proficient in the area, in their area of specialization as the other dogs were theirs. It is interesting to note that the bulldog was often referred to as a type of hound in early writings. He also was occasionally referred to as a mastiff or an eland. So it is quite likely that those terms at one time all referred to basically the same fighting strain that varied in size and conformation of somewhat throughout the world. As early as 300 years ago, the arboration was developed from the bulldog strains and was kept mainly by curiosity, for it had human-like appearance. This was a brachiophilic dog or a pushed-in nose type dog. It was useless for fighting and bull baiting, for it did not have the long, punishing jaws, but it's still called a bulldog because it was simply a malformed specimen of the breed because of its comic appearance. It was more likely to keep as a pet than as a fighting brethren who earned their living in the pit or on hunts. The irony is that the public mind term bulldog became associated with the malformed variety rather than the original breed. About 1850, a man named Hinks, according to his son, produced an English bull terrier by crossing the pushed-in nose type bulldog with the old English white terrier, now extinct. Early drawings of some of the first individuals to cross show these dogs to have the retorous nose and the malformed type bulldog. Selective breeding probably produced a longer muzzle than today's specimens have. So we find the American Pit Bull Terrier is not closely related to the Bull Terrier as formerly supposed. Because of the uncertain history of the breed, there's been so much confusion created in the public mind about the American Pit Bull Terrier and its relationships to other breeds. Word, food for thought. With this fact in mind, I'm providing the following glossary. Most of this information is accepted as fact, but I have placed parentheses around my own conjectures, even though they are based in solid evidence. All right. So Mr. Richard F. Stratton gave us this information, but he also gave his contradictions in his script. All right. So the portions in parentheses, as I read them, I will do an open parentheses, close parentheses, so you can know as a listener which ones he agreed with and which ones he didn't agree with. All right. He placed parentheses around his conjectures. Con, meaning against. Around his conjectures. Check it out. Glossary of breed names and nicknames. Note, correction, open parentheses. Note that the accepted breed names are treated as proper pronouns and therefore are capitalized. Breed nicknames are treated as generic terms and therefore are not capitalized. It is difficult to discourage the use of nicknames, especially when the formal name is a big mouthful as our breeds. But my suggested treatment of these nicknames will help us to keep in mind that they are just that, merely nicknames, close parentheses. American, open parentheses, Pit, close parentheses, Bull Terrier. So he says, so in Mr. Richard Stratton's opinion, he believes that it should just be American Bull Terrier. I like that. I like that. The direct descendant of countless generations of game dogs. Although primarily framed as a fighter without equal, this breed has proved to be useful in predatory animal control and as a catch dog and a guard dog. And it just so happens to make an excellent house dog. All right? So all of y'all who got house dog American Pit Bull Terriers, just know that Mr. Richard Stratton did not put a parentheses against that. He agrees with that. That information, you know, for those of y'all who got a house dog American Pit Bull Terriers, and when you take them out to the park, they still want to beat a dog, whoop on a dog, or they still want to chase squirrels, ain't nothing wrong with that in Mr. Richard F. Stratton's opinion. His book, not mine. American Staffordshire Terrier, the show counterpart of the American Pit Bull Terrier. Except for some game strands that are dual registered, these dogs could not be expected to be as game as the American Pit Bull Terrier, or to have the same ability. Now, I like that. He didn't put that in parentheses at all. The people that bred them for working kept working Staffordshire Terriers. The people that did not breed them for working kept showline American Staffordshire Terriers. It is your responsibility, not theirs, to prove whether their Staffordshire Terriers are working or not working dogs. So all this argument about whether the Staffordshire Terrier is good as the Pit Bull, it says right here, if the person maintained the gameness, there is no difference. There's no difference. It's all about who you get the dogs from. That's why y'all out here buying these pedigrees from any and everybody. I don't agree with that. I don't think that's right. You buy a dog based on what the dog offers. Does it look like what you want? Does it move like what you want? Does it act like what you want? Get the dog you want to get. Y'all be chasing these pedigree, and the American Pit Bull Terrier and the Staffordshire Terrier share a common ancestry. That's known. But what did the man do with the dog? And what did he continue to do with that dog? What did he continue to build upon? And what did he continue to take away to make it right for him and his family? He's not ruining the breed by making the dog fit his lifestyle. He's advancing the breed for him and his family, his legacy. Back to the book. The brachiophilic type bulldog. The Bull Terrier, a show dog that was produced, open parentheses, around 1850, close parentheses. That means Mr. Richard Stratton don't agree with that. He says it could have been produced around that time, but he doesn't agree with that. By a cross between the brachiophilic type bulldog and a terrier. Despite the popular opinion to the contrary, this breed, because of its insufficient ability and gameness, was never consistently used as a pit dog. the bulldog, the brachiophilic type bulldog. Now, formerly bears the name of its progenitor, the original bulldog, open parentheses, now known as the American Pit Bull Terrier, close parentheses. So Mr. Stratton is saying that he believes that the American Pit Bull Terrier is the bulldog, and the bulldog you see today, like the Georgia bulldog, is just a farce at best. Somebody give me a thumbs up if y'all can hear me, man. It's different when I don't have a co-host on here to tell me if I can be heard or not. I don't know if y'all can hear me or not. I don't know how far along y'all been hearing me or not hearing me. Testing 1 2, testing 1 2. All right, I'm oppressed, y'all. So look, appreciate it, Allegiance Fury. Appreciate it, big dog. Thank you. The bulldog. Today, the relationship to the American Pit Bull Terrier is extremely remote because the breeds have been bred separately for so long. In fact, about the only thing the breeds have in common is they both are dogs. Okay. Now, once again, you subscribe to whatever school of thought you want to subscribe to, y'all. I'm not telling you how to do nothing. I'll share with you what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? You can take that or leave it. You know, but right here, if you breed it for a different purpose, you're eventually gonna get a dog that doesn't have the same purpose, don't act the same way, but they simply are both just canines. Bulldog, a nickname for the American Bull Terrier. It is important to note that once again, the American Pit Bull Terrier always, most certainly, it was the original breed that was known as the bulldog. Now, that was in parentheses. All right, that's in parentheses note. Mr. Stratton don't believe that. Pit bull, another nickname for the American Pit Bull Terrier, one that has been used for at least 200 years, probably to distinguish them from the brachiophilic type bull. To further confuse the issue, the Bull Terrier people sometimes use the term to refer to their breed. Apparently, the mistaken belief that their dog was or is used in the pit. All right. Now we all know if you have any breed history, there have been Bull Terriers that have actually performed a game test against another animal dog and won. But as a whole, they don't perform well as a whole. But when I speak to the rule, not the exception to the rule. Okay, I speak to the rule, not to the exception to the rule. The Staffordshire Bull Terrier, an English show dog that is descended from many of the same ancestors as the American Pit Bull Terrier. However, it has been bred along different lines from the American Staffordshire Terrier and has very little similarity to the American Pit Bull Terrier. The Yankee Terrier, a name that was concocted when the AKC refused to register the American Pit Bull Terrier under its own name. For some reason, this name too was rejected. The Yankee Terrier. I wonder how pissed off people would be if I started, instead of calling my dogs all the other dogs, if I called them Williams Yankee Terriers. Who would thought? The American Pit Bull Terrier, a brief history of our great breed. When the Roman legions conquered Britain, they civilized the savages, built roads and temples, and fortresses and towns, and aqueducts. They laid a basis for the language we now know today as English. And they brought a sport that dated back to Minos in Crete, the sport of bull baiting. The sport developed from the cult worship of the warrior god Mithridates, one whose devotees signified his might with the likeness of a young white bullock. The form he assumed to give courage to his followers in battle. In those early days, there were many large, ferocious dogs, usually wild. They were caught and used for soldier sport. Through the years, the Romans were assimilated into tribes that they had conquered and moved on to other campaigns. But their civilization and their sport lived on and continued to flourish among the descendants of the landholders and royalty. Through those same years, the dogs became more typified due to selective breeding for Roman sport, and also due to the fact that only the strongest and most intelligent dogs survived the sport. Right there, y'all, that's culling. That is culling in a nutshell. Let us now take a great leap through the centuries to the early 1700s, a time which finds the middle class firmly entrenched in English society. A class of merchants, gold, silver, and blacksmiths, innkeepers, tailors, bakers, etc. This class mimicked the fashion, customs, and diversions of the upper class among the sport of bull baiting. So check this out. Appreciate that, Marcel. They basically saying that even in Roman times, the same stuff we're dealing with today was going on now. The working class people, the bakers, the tailors, blacksmiths, you know what I'm saying? Those of us that work in the military, car plants, we buy these things that are out of our means to fit in and look like the bourgeoisie. They was doing it back then, man. Nothing has changed. So why would the dogs have changed that much? Yeah, we don't live like they live. We have more amenities than they had. But it's telling you, at the end of the day, only the strongest should have survived. Let us also take a look into the canine world of today, of that day. Now we can see types, almost true breeds, terriers, cattle dogs, shepherds, and a large dog called a bulldog. For obvious reasons, or mastiffs, which at the time meant large dog, there was a terrible blue paw from Scotland, and it was just as terrible as the Alaunt from Ireland. All come and to test their mettle against the English bulls. They were bred with the great dogs of England, and their offspring baited bulls. By 1800, the result of this breeding was a large, long-legged animal weighing 80 to 90 pounds. And you must take into consideration that these dogs were not fed on a regular basis to ensure their ferocity against the bull. So we're talking about dogs that were not quite emaciated, but conditioned dogs. So when you talk about keeping dogs that are fit, when I see smooth American Pit Bull Terriers, that's cool. If your dog is smoothly built, you know, that's fine. If you're okay with that, you're okay with that. But it says right here, they kept these dogs basically fit and ready to feed. Fit and ready to feed. The early 1800s were poor years for the men of the middle class. They could no longer afford the bulls of the ancient sport, and its popularity declined. In 1835, the sport was officially banned. A few followers of the sport defied the law, serendipitously continued it for several years. And that's where we at kind of now in the United States. You know, a few brave souls are still testing their mettle in the old way. And I don't have, like, I'm not speaking against you. I'm just telling you that, you know, the history is there. And if you can't adapt, that time, that wave is gone. It's been gone since 1835, fam. You know, it's been gone since 1835, but you do you, boo-boo. Law-abiding men. However, we're busily developing a new sport, one not quite as costly: dog fighting. There were plenty of dogs left over from the bull baiting days, huge dogs, ferocious dogs. Dogs not quite as fast and agile enough to make this new sport truly exciting. So here's where Richard Stratton saying that the size of them might have come down at. But we went from 80, 90 pound, 100 pound dogs. However, it's going to take you 30 or 40 years to breed that out of a breed. Let us, at this time, look at a segment of English society where we have overlooked the lower class. The poor, unfortunate people had, from time to time, serious vermin problems, namely rats, which also could be a remedy by terriers. While the upper and middle classes were developing their great dogs for sport, the lower class was refining the terrier for survival. And this is where I fall in. I'm a low class type of terrier kind of guy, man. Terriers, small and agile, lithe and sinewy, caught and ate their own food. Although small, they were deep-chested and powerful enough to dig the rats out of a burrow. A terrier was a necessity to a poor man, and any chicken-stealing fox or grain-thieving rat was fair play to his terrier. That's what I'm talking about right there. That's the portion of history that I'm addicted to. I want a dog that literally does, like my dogs have killed rats, possums, coons, birds. I love it, man. I love that, man. Love it. You know what I'm saying? It has practical application. You know what I'm saying? If the government shut down right now, I don't have to worry about my grain stores, my rice and stuff getting ate up because I got dogs that take care of that. And if you want to get a cat, get a cat. But the cat ain't gonna take care of you when somebody comes try to steal your grain that you kept. That's all I'm saying. The terrier also ain't gonna go up against no fox or no coyote for you. Excuse me, the cat. The terrier had his place in the poor man's diversion, a sport called ratting. Rats were caught, placed in cages, and a pit was dug. Bets were placed, and the rats and terriers were released into the pit. The dog catching and killing the most rats was declared the winner, and his owner went home jingling a pocket of coins. Several types of terriers were developed, but only the ones pertinent to the history will be discussed. The English White Terrier became extinct in the early 1900s, resembled what is now today's Manchester-sized Terrier and conformity, but with a head that looks quite like the American Pit Bull Terrier of today. It was a very game dog, but perhaps not as game as the Black and Tan, which survives today in the Manchester Terrier. Very little change. There was also the Fox Terrier, a slightly larger, more burly type animal, capable and adept to catching and killing larger contenders for farmers' food. No one knows who first thought to breed the huge bulldog to the agile terriers, nor were their accurate records kept. But apparently, it was handled quite successfully by coal miners and iron workers in central England, in the Staffordshire area, and called the Bull and Terrier. The Bull and Terrier quickly gained popularity among sporting men, as, owning its own compact size, it was more easily handled, ate less, and gave these fine sporting men the opportunity to participate. Rules were laid and usually abided by as a point of honor. But the very best facet in the newer breed was the terrier-like propensity toward mankind, which allowed the owner to be right in the thick of the sport, urging his dog with his hands and his voice, quite unlike the haphazard, strictly spectator bull baiting. In the early days, the sport took place in the old bull arenas, street corners, barns, and sheds. But again, the middle class was on the rise and took the fancy to a newer sport and the Bull and Terrier. Soon, almost every pub had an inn, a small area in the room to the side, or a main room depending on the size of the establishment. These arenas became known as the pits, taken from the old lower class sport of ratting, and of course, fighting was soon called hitting. The winning dogs became known as pit dogs. It became quite fanciful. Correction. It became quite fashionable for young dandies to see about the town with a Bull and Terrier under their arm, taking their dogs to the pub. It would be allowed to be on the bar for all to see and make wagers, when the barkeep and innkeeper was holding the money. Meanwhile, the old bulldog was becoming quite rare due to being used as base stock for the newer, more agile breed. Only a few men dedicated to the Roman sport managed to save the breed from extinction. These men were the landholders, and they could very well afford to buy a newly introduced dog from China, causing quite a stir among the royalty of that day, the Chinese pug. By breeding the bulldogs to the pugs, These men gradually developed the short-legged, kink-tailed, broad, and squatty modern dog we know as the Bulldog. Tony, what's good, big dog? What's good, big dog? You say you're not looking at the screen, so you just listening, man, and enjoying, man. Salute. Salute. Appreciate that. The Bull and Terriers from Staffordshire had gained a sizable reputation for their gameness and their performance. And probably due to these close-knit mining communities, these dogs had a definitive tightness. They became known as the Staffordshire Bull Terrier. But not until 1935 was the official name when the English Kennel Club designated it as such to be recognized as a pure breed. We are now going to go back into history once again, at this time to the Western Hemisphere and the colonization of America and Canada. Wherever man goes, he does take his dogs. And the Terriers were just as much in demand in the New World as they were in the Old. As for the large, fierce bulldog types needed to protect man from marauders. These men also needed a diversion, and they looked to their dogs for the sport. Through years and type of bull and terrier, they developed a large-boned, heavier dog than its English cousin. Shortly before the Civil War, the English dogs were brought to America by merchants, sailors, and traders, and the sport of dog fighting flourished in the port towns. Shout out to Dubtown, Wilmington, North Carolina. The English, American Bull Terrier, and Terrier-type dogs were crossed and refined through concerted efforts from the sporting men. Mr. C.B. Bennett, a renowned sportsman and fancier, as well as a breeder, organized a stud book and a registering office in 1898. He designated the breed name to the American Pit Bull Terrier. So Mr. C.B. Bennett is like the guy who kind of put the stamp on the American Pit Bull Terriers. Not saying he was the first one to call it that. He was the first one to start registering them as that. C.B. Bennett, not Kobe, not the Gate Greenwoods. Things to be taken note of. Mr. Bennett also established rules governing the pitting of dogs and set up the official breed standard as it stands today. The United Kennel Club was established 77 years ago, and this book was written in, I gotta go back to the prologue of this book to give y'all how many years ago, 77 years ago was when this book. This book was copyrighted in 1976. So in 1899, would have been the establishment of the United Kennel Club and the registration of American Pit Bull Terrier. And has grown to the second largest dog registering office in the United States. The American Pit Bull Terrier is considered to be the most powerful dog, pound for pound, ever developed, even though they, are also known for their devotion and steady temperament with humans. The versatility of this breed is perhaps the most outstanding feature. We all know its reputation and prowess in the pit, so we will go on to the other less known qualities. RBG, big dog. Salute Melee. Sir. Less known qualities of the American Pit Bull Terrier. The American Pit Bull Terrier has a natural inclination for hunting and has been trained to hunt everything from bird to wild boar. It is deeply ingrained in the fearlessness and stamina and high pain threshold to allow it to take a brutal punishment without a whimper. For this reason, it does not make a good bear or wildcat hunter, as the tendency to lock its jaws on the opponent leads to the dog's destruction. This breed is not known as an indiscriminate people biter. It has the innate ability to distinguish between true aggression and play. Let me dive back on that. It has the innate ability to distinguish between a true aggression and play. So if you got a I had a grown dog like this, I talked about it 2 nights ago. I had a grown dog that would attack puppies, a male that would attack a female puppy. While I think the dog was a good dog, I like what this book is saying about them. I like the dogs. Okay, my dog can tell you, he can be at the park, and as long as it's a little punk ass dog, he ain't bother me. But when he see another dog, whether it be a bulldog, which is a real dog, that can cause him or the family serious harm, he turns into a different animal. That innate ability, that inborn ability, is powerful to me. It is usually tolerant of small children and accepts their roughness as a matter of course, gauging the child's strength and playing in accordance. Love that about these dogs. So what it's saying is, as your child gets stronger and bigger, the dog will tailor it back. And my dogs naturally do that, bro. Like, I can't make this up, man. Like, my dog Saki, when the twins outside, he would go lay down. And when they try to walk up on him, he'll get up and walk away. And my 3-year-old, he won't lean on him, he won't jump on him, but he'll let him touch him. And then with my older kids, he plays as rough as they want to play. Shout out to the people before me that bred these dogs and put them together, because they kept true to the old way. Adaptability is the key word for this breed. The American Pit Bull Terrier is at home in a city apartment, a suburban split level, a farm, or a kennel. Owning an outwardly extremely short coat, shedding is minimal, and therefore little grooming is required in just keeping the teeth free of tartar, the ears free of mites and dirt, and the nails filed down, preventing tearing. Centuries of depending on not only its strength, but also its wits for survival, have produced a very highly intelligent dog. Due to its intelligence and willingness to please, the American Pit Bull Terrier is easily trained and very rarely forgets. The dog has a long attention span and a mind of its own, which often leads to him outsmarting his human owners. In the early 1900s, the American Pit Bull Terrier was one of the most popular breeds in America. As witnesses Tej, Buster Brown's company in a comic strip, and the dog we will see today on the RCA products, reported by Thomas A. Edison's faithful American Pit Bull Terrier. During World War I, the breed represented the Old Glory and our allies poster. Old Glory is the name of our flag. The breed represented the flag of the United States of America. With a squatty English bulldog as a representation of the Union Jack, and the French bulldog, the tricolor flag. No history of the breed is complete without the mention of Pete, a ring-eyed canine, comic companion of our gang, kids. Pete was the distinction of the first AKC registered Staffordshire Terrier. Today, we again are seeing a resurgence in the popularity of this truly great breed, the American Pit Bull Terrier. Man, powerful breed, powerful stuff. Yeah, man. So I got my 10 minutes of reading in with y'all today. Chapter 3 has several more pages. So I'm going to pause right there. We're on page 36 of the American Pit Bull Terrier. This is the American Pit Bull Terrier by Richard F. Stratton. We're pausing on page 36. We'll pick up on our next reading. We'll pick up on page 37. So, yeah, man, what y'all think? You know, I read the book and I give you my interpretations, my innermost thoughts live, and it's just something to do because I like things that are referenceable. I like referenceable material. I don't like just going off the cuff all the time. You know, I think it's very profound. I think it also can help those y'all that have an ear to hear and eyes to see, to know where I'm coming from with everything that I do. So, yeah, definitely a good read. I got that book. Once again, I got that book from Thrift Books. And yeah, I enjoyed the read. So, here with my puppy. Here with little Nami. Here with little Nami. She's doing just fine. Just fine. Fantastic. So yeah, I'll drop it in one more time, man. We get up out of here. We crossed the hour mark. I've been able to kick it with y'all and spend time with y'all and enjoy it. A week old Nami. A week old Nami. Tsunami. But brothers and sisters, man, Until next time, man, this has been Samurai K9. Salute. Tony, salute, bro. Salute, man. Appreciate you. Appreciate you coming through. Yes, sir. Yeah, Legion. I know. I'm not gonna lie. I saw that book in the pet stores in Lumberton, North Carolina when I was a kid, and I just looked at the pictures, and I'm pretty sure that's what a lot of people did. You know what I'm saying? I'm everyday people. Like, I know people. You know what I'm saying? So when I be calling people out on their BS, it's because I think like you, but I don't act like. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man. I appreciate that, man. For love of the game, Tony. For love of the dogs. For love of the game. Appreciate you. Melee, salute. Old man. Still waiting for. She got a half prick right now. I'm waiting for her full prick to come in, so her ears fold up like they're supposed to. I don't pin or anything. If they stay floppy, they stay floppy. But it's supposed to have a full prick right here at the top. Big A's dog got it, and Melee's dog got it already. She's the late bloomer. She's the young buck. And if she don't get it by 12 weeks, then slip. I'll be looking at them like that and see what it look like. So I'm folding back and see what it look like. It should look good with it. You know what I'm saying? It should look good. I'll holler at y'all, man. Till next time, ladies and gentlemen, y'all be safe, stay dangerous. Keep your blades sharp, your defense tight. Now.
Yeah. Beat drop slow, head not flow. Blood don't lie, it's that old yellow line. Sack it from the south, Michonne on the rise. Boogeyman bark, leave a mark every time. We don't breathe for clout, we breathe for spine. DNA thick, can't clone this pride. That Shogun blood, yeah, the legends don't die. Started with Boogeyman, ghost in the chain, locked in the game, never move for fame. Old mountain lions run deep in the flame. Sock about the fire, Michonne brought the name. Then came Fat Boy, muscle in the frame. Man, hard, put respect on the name. Shotgun smooth, but the work insane. Sugar sweet jit, but a bite ain't tame. Kiki in the back, had a game in the veins. Gatorade heavy, running straight through the rain. Red Ninja close, watch him work in the lane. Renegade rider can't hold that chain. Blood don't lie, it's that old yellow line. Sock it from the south, Michonne on the rise. Boogeyman bark, leave a mark every time. We don't breathe for clout, we breathe for spine. DNA thick, can't clone this pride. That Shogun blood, yeah, the legends don't die.